Okay, so now let us start here. For instance, tuangalie the hydroxide of calcium. Hydroxide of calcium, hydroxide of magnesium, hydroxide of zinc, hydroxide of iron, hydroxide of the lead. Yani hydroxide zote za metal, mfano and this copper. Anasema kwamba this hydroxide are readily decomposed on heating to form metal oxide and water. Kwamba hizi oxide zote hydroxide of calcium, magnesium, zinc, iron, lead and copper zipo tayari kudecompose. Anasema are readily to decompose on heat, and therefore obvious moja kwa moja tunaenda kupata nini? The metal oxide and water. Sasa tutakapopata metal oxide tutakuwa tumesha win ile our main concern, kwa sababu lengo letu sisi ni kufanya preparation, kuandaa the metal oxide kwa kutumia hii method ya indirect. Kwa hiyo utakuja kuona kwamba kama tutaweza kupata this metal oxide tutakuwa pia tushamaliza kazi yetu, kwa sababu our main purpose is to prepare the metal oxide. So this is our reaction. So this is copper plus this nitric acid ambayo ni concentrated nitric acid, and this is the heat, the condition of the heat, and this is the reaction. Here we have copper 2 oxide. Kwa hiyo hii hapa itakuwa ina demonstrate the whole concept. Anasema kwamba the oxide of the sodium is very stable. Sasa kumbuka tumesema the more stable the compound, the difficult to decompose it compound. Kwa hiyo kama ni very stable hatuwezi kuidecompose na hatuwezi kutengeneza hizo compound of metal. Sasa tunapokuja kwenye sodium, oxide of the sodium, actually sodium is the most reactive element. Kwa hiyo obviously itatengeneza nini? Itatengeneza the stable compound of oxide. Kwa hiyo utaona kwamba the oxide of sodium is very stable and hence does not decompose on heating. Sasa on heating actually does not decompose. Kwa hiyo tutakavyo expose kwenye heat, no reaction, no decomposition. Example of the thermal decomposition of the metal hydroxide are shown below. So now let us see examples of those thermal decomposition of the metal hydroxide. Tumeona hydroxide of the zinc, lead, iron, copper, calcium. Hizo ndio zipo readily kudecompose kwenda kutupelekea formation of the metal oxides. Mfano unaweza kaona zinc hydroxide ina decompose on heating kwenda kutengeneza zinc oxide and water molecule. Lakini pia tuna magnesium hydroxide on heating ina decompose kwenda kutengeneza magnesium oxide as well as water molecule. But also aluminium hydroxide the same. Sasa tunaona kwamba decomposition of this compound tunaenda kupata nini? Matokeo ya oxide of the metals. All these are the oxide of metals. Lakini pia tunaenda kurizina na water molecule. But our main target is the preparation of the what? Metal oxide. This one. Zinc oxide, magnesium oxide and the aluminium oxide. Na hii imetokea baada ya thermal decomposition ya hizo metal compound on heating. But another one is the thermal decomposition of metal sulfate. Decomposition of metal sulfate. Sasa tunapokuja kuangalia kwenye metal sulfate, na maana tunataka tufanye consideration. Je, hizi metal sulfates zinavyo decompose tunaenda kumpata metal oxide? If yes, that's why we have to study here. For instance, anasema kwamba the sulfate of the most reactive metal such as sodium and potassium hence does not decompose on heating. The same. As long as it is more reactive, it is more it is most reactive metal, obvious. Kama ile compound formed with this most reactive metals ni ngumu sana kuifanyaje kuidecompose. Kwa hiyo kwa mfano tunapokuja kuangalia the sulfate of the sodium, the sulfate of the potassium, hizo ni the most reactive metals. Kwa hiyo obvious no decomposition, anasema kwamba does not decompose on heating. Lakini tunapoangalia nyingine, kesi nyingine, for instance, the sulfate of the calcium exists as hydrated. Kwa hiyo tunapokuja kwenye the sulfate of the calcium ana exist as what? Hydrated. When we talk about hydrated, mean that ana exist akiwa na water molecule. Ana exist akiwa na water molecule. For instance, here, this is calcium, hydrated calcium. For instance, this is calcium sulfate plus 2 mole of water for crystallization. Kwa hiyo utaona kwamba hii calcium sulfate na hii water for crystallization here ni compound moja. Kwa hiyo hii the sulfate of calcium it is hydrated. Anasema and when heated at temperature above 200 degrees Celsius it loses its water of crystallization to form anhydrous calcium sulfate. Sasa hii compound unaiona hapa ambayo ni calcium sulfate huwa ina exist is hydrated. Sasa pale ambapo tunaiheat, kumbuka tuna apply thermal decomposition. Sasa maana kwamba tutaiapply kwenye heat. Sasa tunapo apply heat ambapo tunatumia high temperature ambayo anasema above 200, this hydrated calcium sulfate it will lose its water of crystallization. Kwa hiyo tunaona kwamba ile maji itaondolewa, therefore tutaenda kubakiwa na nini? Na calcium sulfate. Tutaenda kubakiwa na calcium sulfate. Sasa tunapokuja on heating, anasema on heating at very high temperature anhydrous copper sulfate ambapo calcium sulfate ambapo ile maji ishaondoka, sasa hivi yamebakia ni anhydrous, so hydrated tena. Anasema it decomposes to form calcium oxide, sulfur dioxide and oxygen gas. Kumbuka mwanzoni ilikuwa ni nini? Ilikuwa ni hydrated. Sasa ilivyokuwa hydrated tukailiactisha with the high temperature above 200, ile water of crystallization ikawa removed. Sasa baada ya kuwa removed, that's why here unaona hapa kwamba this calcium sulfate ambayo ilikuwa hydrated under 280 degrees Celsius. Kumbuka temperature ilikuwa above 200. Kwa hiyo hapa ni 280 degrees Celsius. Unaona kwamba this two water of crystallization there is negative here, maana kwamba inakuwa nini? Inakuwa removed. Tunaenda kubakiwa na calcium sulfate which is anhydrous. The sulfate of calcium which is anhydrous. Sasa at this high temperature ina decompose again. On heating now katika temperature kubwa ambayo ni 1200 degrees Celsius, it decompose into the calcium oxide, sulfur dioxide gas, but also we are releasing the oxygen gas. Kwa hiyo utakuja kuona kwamba we are preparing the calcium oxide. Our main target is to prepare the oxide of the metal. So here we have the calcium oxide ambayo ni oxide ni metal oxide tayari compound imekuwa prepared. So now anasema sulfate of magnesium. The sulfate of magnesium. Anasema kwamba there is a sulfate of magnesium, zinc, lead and copper. Anasema kwamba decompose easily on heating to form metal oxide, sulfur dioxide gas and oxygen gas. Hapa tunapokuja kwenye hizi sulfate, for instance ya magnesium, ya zinc, lead na copper, matokeo ni ale kwamba zipo tayari ku react, zipo readily to react on heating, and therefore we are going to prepare the metal oxide. For instance, we have these reactions. We have this reaction which show the sulfate compound. For instance, we have the sulfate of magnesium, sulfate of zinc, sulfate of lead, sulfate of copper. Hapa ni tofauti kidogo na ile sulfate of calcium. Na tunaporudi kwenye sulfate of sodium and potassium, though they do not decompose at all, kwa sababu zile ni most reactive. Lakini tunapokuja kwenye calcium kuna zile pellicularies na yenyewe, lakini zinakuwa removed katika condition ya temperature, tunaenda kupata the calcium oxide. Lakini hizi nyingine zote zilizosalia ni very easy, they are ready to react to decompose on heating, and therefore we are going to prepare the metal oxide. For instance, here we have magnesium oxide, zinc oxide, lead oxide, copper oxide, and other products are formed here, the gases of oxygen and the sulfur dioxide gas. These are the sulfate compounds. The sulfate compound, they undergo heating or they undergo thermal decomposition on heating to form the metal oxide. So my students, you can see that the sulfate of the iron exists as hydrated salt, kama tulivyoona kwa calcium. Sasa na iron pia na hii tabia and exists as what? Hydrated salt, as you see here with the 7 water full crystallization. Anasema kwamba and on heating it loses water to form anhydrous ferrous sulfate, this one iron sulfate, kwamba na yenyewe pia na exist with the 7 water full of crystallization, kwamba iron sulfate na yanakuwa na exist katika hydrated. Hasa on heating atapoteza ile maji yake, therefore on further heating ambapo tuna heat zaidi, nasema kwamba the anhydrous iron sulfate decompose to form ferric oxide ambayo ni iron 3 oxide, sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide as shown in the following equation. So this is our equation which describe the sulfate of the iron. As you see here, mwanzoni ilikuwa ni hydrated iron sulfate ambayo tuka apply heat tuka remove water of crystallization. As you see here, -7 water molecule. Maana hii water molecule, water of crystallization yote inakuwa removed on heating. Sasa tunapo apply more heating, ina maana tutaenda kubakiwa hii water kishaondoka, tutabakiwa na iron sulfate. Sasa tunapo apply more heating, therefore tutaenda ku prepare the oxide of the metal, ambapo tunaenda kupata the iron 3 oxide, lakini pia we are going to release that kind of the gases, for instance sulfur dioxide gas and sulfur trioxide gas. But all in all, we are considering the preparation of the what? Preparation of the metal oxide by involving the oxidation ya ile concentrated nitric acid, lakini pia kwa kuangalia the issue of the thermal decomposition of the compound containing the oxygen atom. So that is all about my student. I hope it is clear for you. Now the issue of the direct method and the indirect method of preparing the metal oxide is over. So thank you so much for watching our Media Educator Z. This marks the end of our discussion. Bye bye. Have a nice moment.